Yes. So unfortunately, Rune's character Michael would also have experienced their visitation kind of at the start of this session, but Rune, alas, isn't very well, so we'll have to continue without him. Yeah, so we will resume bare moments after your conversation with Heru. So your stepfather Isabel has walked into the tent of the festival and left you standing, kind of in a loose group, by what mere minutes ago was a thriving, bustling thoroughfare of people, which is the main kind of. Does main drag translate into non-English, non-British English? Okay, the main drag of the festival. And you can kind of see at the entrance flashing lights, which would denote the emergency services. You do have a tied up. I believe you still have a tied up gang member.
We do.
And you had interrogated him, in as much as that you are all good people and still not technically aware of your divine purpose on Earth, in the world. So you just asked him some questions, got what information you could from him. The first thing I guess you need to decide is what you're actually going to do with him, and then where you're going to take it from there. Michael is looking quite pale and mutters something about having to go home for a lie down.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourself, Michael.
Yeah, give us a call later.
So this ruffian to the police, I guess. Hand him over.
What else are we going to do with him? I suppose we can just hand him over to the police, let the police handle it from here.
Yeah. Still want to know where this Todd is, though. I mean, this drug's just gonna take over the streets, and I don't want to have to deal with that mess.
Yeah, I'm really afraid personally of it getting to the kids. This stuff seems pretty nasty.
What can we do to
Sorry, I was just saying you can see police now walking down towards you. They're moving with that kind of efficient hurry, so it's not terribly fast, but they're definitely moving with purpose and intent, spreading out.
Mm-hmm.
There were other incidents in the fair as well, weren't there?
Yes, every area something happened in.
Yeah. Okay.
You were just all kind of clustered together, so.
Mm-hmm.
Isabel's staring off in the direction, whatever direction her father went off in, and she's just like, he said he's proud of me.
That's the takeaway. Not that you're the child of a god, but that your father is proud of you.
Even though all of those aviation lessons did not go to waste.
That's right.
One of the police officers kind of walks up to you because, again, you have a tied up person at your feet. Everything okay here? It's just kind of middle-aged guy, hair thinning at the temples. Uniform's a bit too tight, but that's more through bulk rather than exercise, let's say.
Yeah, we ran into some trouble, and these gang members were taking over, just causing a ruckus, really, and we helped put a stop to the situation, and this is one of them that we managed to citizen arrest.
Well, I appreciate your support, and I thank you for it. And then he kind of gets distracted by something to the side. What happened to that porter cabin?
Oh, yeah, the baddie in there, that's mine.
Okay. He sends out a really confused radio call, basically getting people here to deal with the incapacitated, the 3 incapacitated people that you've got in your immediate vicinity. You will have to obviously provide witness statements if you were involved in this incident. We can do it now, or you can come down to the station. Looks at the time. Tomorrow.
Okay. I mean, I'm okay with that. But also, officer, I don't know if you're familiar with like the markings. I'm assuming you are if you're from the area. These guys are barbers. They're not from this area. Is everything going on okay? Like, I don't know how much you can tell me, but like, is everything going on okay in that part of the city? It's just really unusual that they're all the way up here.
This would be a good time to. Oh, God, I've lost my cursor. There it is. 1 second. This would be a good time for everyone, if they wish to make some kind of mental roll.
Sure.
I've got the wrong
Okay,
document open.
so we can choose new knacks now. Is that right?
Actually, yes. Tweaks. So if you want to, you can activate a different knack.
Mm-hmm.
You can also move one skill dot to another skill.
Oh.
And there is something else you can do. I mean, you don't have to do any of this, obviously, but you can if you wish. At the end of every session, you can shift one dot from one attribute to another attribute, or from one skill to another skill.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of roleplay using that skill or attribute to, make it make sense. Swap out any knacks you have, so you can just activate a new knack. Or if this were a longer term thing, you can actually create a new short-term deed, which is a short-term goal to achieve.
Right.
And just so everyone at home is aware, my character that I'm playing, Ash, they only have one knack at the moment. So
Okay.
I won't be switching anything out.
But you do have a fox, so it kind of balances out.
I do have a fox. It's a really nice fox.
I have plans for that fox.
I'm so glad. Can I name the fox?
You can, yes. There is like a canon name in the adventure, but it's in like a 500-piece word of fiction, so it doesn't really matter. Also, if you wish to name the fox, I can alter the name in the document, and then you've made canon.
Canon. I'll figure out a name for the fox.
Because I'm going to update the document as a result of this anyway. So.
Okay. Fantastic.
Playtesting.
Let's see. Isabel's been using enhanced impact to great effect, but I'm tempted by well-tempered. I'm going to go with well-tempered.
The new look on life, huh?
Yes.
I think I'll change from perfect poise to good listener. Yeah.
So for people who are unfamiliar with the system in chat, and we will be kind of taking these breaks every now and then to explain things, knacks are minor supernatural abilities that relate directly to the kind of aspect of the divine parent that you take after. You get more, what they call callings. You get more when you are a hero, but at Origin you have one calling. So like Liam is a leader, I believe, and
Correct.
Ash is a healer. They have the healer and leader callings, but you can only have one knack active at Origin because you are just a person.
Alrighty.
Okay, so thank you for reminding me about that. That should have been done at the start, end of like the last game, but the start of this game works as well. The officer, sorry, it takes me a while to regain trains of thought. The officer kind of crouches down, examines the not unconscious but just tied up gang member who's oddly docile now. Actually, Liam, you'd be able to tell. We'll get back to the mental roll in a minute, but Liam, you would be able to tell that this gang member is going through like the crash after the high. His extremities are starting to shake, to twitch, and he's breaking out into a sweat.
Bit scatterbrained.
So the roll, if I guess it would be any mental attribute, and probably culture or academics.
I think Ash was doing something, weren't you?
Go with intelligence and academics.
Yeah, Ash was asking the officer something, and it's because it could prompt a thought in all of you. Now you've had time to think for a moment.
That's 8, 9s, and 10s, correct?
8, 9s, 10s, and 10s you reroll until you don't get canned anymore. So it's cumulative exploding successes.
4 successes.
Does that also include me? Should I also be rolling?
If you wish to, yes.
Cool.
You could probably add your enhancement for disadvantaged youth in the situation as well.
Okay.
So 1 automatic success if you succeed. It's difficulty 2.
Cool. Also, for those of you at home, if you're noticing a lack of rattling dice on my screen today, it's because I forgot my dice in general. So I'm using the really super cool Onyx Path
Plug.
on my phone.
I use it for my Vampire the Masquerade games. So.
Very nice.
I have 6 successes.
Ooh.
Nice. And Liam, what do you get?
Had 1 success.
So you don't make this connection, unfortunately. You have other things to be concerned about, but both Isabel and Ash, as you are asking the officer if there's any reason for this, you both remember seeing kind of on your way here or reading an article about it. There has been an uptick in gang violence recently in the city, with gangs kind of, some of them, not all of them, but some of them leaving their traditional stomping grounds. And then the officer kind of gives that, I cannot divulge information about such things, stock response. But in a sympathetic manner, like, he completely understands that this is a terrible situation to find yourself in, but he can't tell you anything else.
So he actually says that to us, does he?
Yes. I'm sorry, I cannot share information concerning such things.
Liam sort of stands up next to him and says, "It's really sad that you've got to come down here and, you know, see to all this violence in such a place of happiness and fun." And I'm going to try and use my good listener skill knack to try and maybe get some information out of him.
Okay.
Out of the police officer.
What are you seeking?
I'm seeking to know, I guess, why the gang members will be in this part of town doing this. I have a feeling that he's probably knows something. You know, he's a police officer of the area, and he's just told us.
That's fine. So for people in chat, this knack allows, because he's an inherently charismatic person in this moment, allows you to essentially supernaturally extort information from a story guide character. And he kind of looks around as if he knows he shouldn't be saying this to, you know, anyone. But yeah, well, I mean, we've had a couple of calls like this recently, and we don't really know what's happening about it. But this is the worst so far. And it's all to do with some kind of new drug on the street that we're trying to find where it came from, but all the gangs are using it, and it's concerning.
Are you
Possibly
thinking,
Sorry, Ash?
Are you thinking gang war? Are you thinking initiation?
It kind of, that look of shock on his face, and just clams up.
Sorry, Liam.
So I think that look probably tells us a little something too, without telling us something.
You're probably right.
Regardless, you still have to decide if you wish to wait for your witness statement or come down to the station tomorrow.
Let's go down tomorrow.
I think tomorrow morning we're gonna get a drink, right?
Or 6.
That sounds good.
By tomorrow, we should have an officer sorted out to take your statements and hopefully put all this behind us.
Yeah, look, hopefully it's the last of this sort of a thing in the area.
Mm-hmm.
As the requested support arrives, he kind of, again, because of good listener, I doubt it, but like under his breath, so Liam, you're the closest, you barely hear it, but you definitely do hear it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll relay this to everybody else once the officer is sort of further away from us.
Okay, yeah, they kind of take the two unconscious and one tied up gang members away, and you can see other people have also defended themselves, and there are a couple of other gang members being walked away in cuffs or like handcuffed to a stretcher because they're unconscious kind of situation or wounded. A lot of the wounded seem to be coming from where Andre was on the storytelling stage.
Okay.
But equally, he's a known Scion, so it's not unlikely that he has some means of defending himself.
Respect.
Respect, yeah.
So where would you like to go
Ooh.
for this drink?
Is there some place quiet, dark, and seedy we can step into?
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's perfectly happy for players to create places on the fly to say this is our regular hangout or this is where we go. I'm not precious about my games. This is a collaborative experience, so.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there's probably a pub nearby that we can duck into, find a table, hide and whisper, because this shit is weird.
Absolutely. Let's go to the Sleepy Llama Inn.
Oh, that's
Works for me.
Perfect. That's my favorite place.
Go there all the time. Take the kids.
Yeah. Good family place, I think.
Okay, you go to the Sleepy Llama. It's, moderately busy with the evening crowd. What is the typical demographic of the Sleepy Llama?
Usually just, I think people knocked off work and having some after work drinks in the evenings, and then it tends to sort of die down. Not really a family sort of a place.
A few confused llama enthusiasts.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
It's one of those ironic names. There's no llamas anywhere inside.
Yeah.
Probably predominantly blue collar and locals.
Yeah, works for me. So that's the kind of crowd that having hushed conversations at tables or sitting alone and eating, an evening meal, enjoying the ambiance before going home to whatever they do at home.
All right.
So there are a few booths free, and the server, I think, is the American term.
Server, bartender, wait staff.
Escorts you, asks you if you'd prefer a booth or a table.
Booth.
Yeah, booth.
Okay. He kind of grabs a couple of menus, shows you to a booth, and then I'll be back in a few minutes for your
Slide in.
Cool. All right. And I just kind of lean in and I'm like, I don't like this. I'm very concerned. None of that was normal. Anywhere near normal, even for us. Also,
they seem stronger.
I don't know.
They seem stronger in it.
They seem weird. Belle, would I have recognized Isabel's father from us having history?
That's up to the two of you.
Yeah. And your dad just kind of showed up.
Yeah, you can, definitely. Yeah.
And your dad just kind of showed up out of nowhere. What did he want? He doesn't even like carnivals.
So my dad, Isabel orders her first drink, quaffs it completely, and says, "All right." My dad says he's a god.
I mean, like complex or like God.
Like Heru. And he says he's my real dad. He dropped a few bombs.
Yeah, wow.
It didn't occur to me to be mad at the time. No, I'm really good.
Wait, what do you mean real dad?
So
you were in.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. There's some complex stuff there that I wasn't really considering at the time. The adrenaline was on; it's still on, and he says he's Haru and I'm his child, and he's really proud of what I did back there. In your face, Michael.
So
wow.
So I mean, you and I grew up together. Like we were together for a couple of years at least. Did he just like he's saying he's your real dad? Did he like Moses in a basket you?
We, we, it was a quick we didn't get to that.
Like
Past the whole deification thing.
Has he ever shown anything to say he's ever been a god?
I mean, no. I mean, one time I knocked over this vase, and he looked pretty damn vengeful for a moment. But that no.
I have so many problems with this trauma bomb. Oh. Okay.
Oh, this is. I feel like I'm like it's all like everything's clicked, everything's been off, and now it's more of this. We got to go find that Todd guy, and we need to put a stop to this.
I mean, but like, are you sure? Like, how sure are you that he's just not? Like, you would have known by now. Like, you would have been doing things. Like, you don't do things.
You're saying he lied to me. The table groans under the grip.
Okay.
I mean, there was also the whole you were standing in a desert for about 3 minutes situation as well.
Yeah.
Oh, right. As that floods back to me. Also, we were in a desert, but we weren't. But we were. It was pretty real. Or I'm hallucinating. I don't know what was in that pie in the contest.
Did you get any of that vomit in? No, none of that drug?
No.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
I'm high on life, my friend.
Oh.
I mean,
another one of these.
Liam just doesn't get that.
Amongst other things, but this is like Izzy's running with all their facilities. I'm just kind of blown away. Like, okay. All right, so you're a so do we know the term Scion? What is the common vernacular for
Scion's the common vernacular. Yeah,
Scion.
you know they exist. Oakvale itself has never really had much contact with the divine. It's really too small. It doesn't attract that much attention.
Right.
But like you know that Andre is a Scion. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I knew we knew that these existed. I just didn't know what the common vernacular.
Yeah, Scion's the usual catch-all term for.
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay, so you're a Scion. Why now? And why was your dad there? I am so not prepared to be a Scooby Gang, but I think this is going to be a Scooby Gang type situation.
I have no idea to any of those questions.
I know, neither do I. I'm just panicking right now.
This is heavy.
Oh, this is really heavy.
So we go with what we got, Todd.
We go with what we got. I'm gonna need something stronger than beer tonight. All right.
Evil villain.
And I call over the wait tender and ask for some shots.
Yeah. Shots are provided. You see in the muted TV behind the bar, they're running a breaking news story about the attack on the festival.
Okay.
And the subtitles are mostly conveying the story, but it's what subtitles.
Oh, you can see the porta potty in the shot.
Yeah, you can. You can.
That guy, I wrecked him.
Oh.
Yeah.
You sure did. All right, so I'm going to, and I pull a napkin off the table and I spread it out, and I'm pulling a pen out of my bag, and I'm like, all right. So this is what we got to go with. We have the Scion, we have Ink, and we have a named Todd. I mean, and your dad just showed up out of nowhere. This is way out of my pay grade, but I think. Do you think your dad had anything to do with this?
Ooh.
No, because he was happy that we stopped it.
But they were saying something about, alluding to a possible gang war. I think your father might have something to do with that. I hope not. I hope not. But
I don't know. So we're not detectives and we're not police. Liam, you're probably the closest we come to that. I think we should. I mean, I'm just really concerned. Like, I've got a lot of kids in that area that this game comes from. Like, I am concerned for the generalized public. Like, if they're spreading out and they're hitting, carnivals and festivals in the middle of the day, what's stopping them from going to mom and pop's liquor store, right? So I think I would be a fan for someone who has a vehicle big enough to hold all of us. I'm assuming that's you, Isabel. That we take a ride around that neighborhood just to see what's going on, just to look, and then figure out from there. I want to know who this Todd guy is. I don't know if I know anyone in the area who would know how this Todd guy is, but I don't like how this is going.
I'm sure we could possibly ask a few people, especially if you know some of the kids in the area. They might have heard something.
Kids, I mean, I can talk to some. I think I can nudge some of the kids, but like, I don't want to get them any more involved than they already are if they're already involved, But I can reach out to some of the kids, see if they've heard anything. Kids talk big. So if they know anything, I'll know from 19 of them.
Cool.
But in the meantime, I still am worried. I want to go down to that neighborhood. I just want to take a ride around. If you guys want to come with me, you can. But like, this is
I'm down.
Feel it.
Yeah.
To the Isabel Mobile.
I feel like you need like one of those logos, like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
As you so are you leaving the Sleepy Llama?
I think we're gonna finish our drinks leisurely, and then but we are not driving under the influence because that would be irresponsible. We're going to finish our legally allotted amounts of alcohol, and then we're going to drive.
As you are settling up behind the bar again, the muted TV is running a report about. It's clearly recycled footage from earlier in the day because it's like you imagine it would have had the live banner earlier in the day, but now it's dark outside. But it's a reporter standing in the sunlight on the banks of the river that runs through the city, and it's the kind of the captions of like another brutal murder strikes Oakvale. And you can see in the background like the coroner's van and police tape. And then an ambulance arrives. Liam, your father, who is a paramedic, is one of the people who comes out and kind of gets the corpse.
I rush straight over and see if I could lend a hand.
Oh, this is on the TV.
Oh, on the TV. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry. It's a recycled report. Report.
Footage.
Yep.
Footage. Yeah, recycled footage obviously from earlier in the day.
Gotcha. Maybe I should call my dad about this. I sort of mumbled to myself. Guys, I'll be right back. And I go. I'm assuming I've got a mobile phone, and I pull it out.
Yeah.
Call my father.
Yeah, he picks up after like the fifth ring.
Hey, Dad. I saw you on the news.
Oh, the river thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that about?
Death, as usual.
Yeah.
Always too late.
It's seems to be getting worse. I don't know. Seems hopeless almost. This city.
There's always hope. You just have to, look for it. In the tone of voice of someone who is trying to persuade themselves of this very thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't emote very well, so I have to clarify sometimes.
Are you doing okay, Dad?
No worse than usual. No better. No worse. You?
I'm all right. I'm feeling. Well, I've met a few people over the little while, and things are going well. Say, it's been a while since we've seen each other, hasn't it?
Yeah. I was hoping you were out enjoying life.
I've been working. I seem like I'm always working.
That's how the profession gets you.
It does. We should do dinner sometime.
Yeah, well, you know where I am.
Yeah.
But nice to see you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just checking in, making sure you're okay, because you didn't. You looked quite down on that TV. So, um, just gang murders, I guess.
Oh,
Any word?
the body was bagged when we got there, but I can tell you it was in 2 pieces.
Wow, 2 pieces.
One rather
Machine.
small piece at the top, and then
Oh, that's horrible. All right. Well, I'll see you. I'll see you probably on the weekend. We'll do
Yeah.
something.
yeah, it'd be nice to see you.
All right. I miss you, Dad.
Miss you too, Liam.
With that, he hangs up and checks back in with his friends.
What's up?
Hey, I just saw my dad on the TV. He was one of the paramedics taking the body from that last report.
Yeah.
Just checking in on him. He's had it pretty rough over the last few years, so I haven't seen him in a while. So I thought I'd check in. He's all right, but yeah, I'm gonna catch up with him soon.
All right.
Should we head on then? Go check out your kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah. I think I'm okay with that. I just want to do a couple of spins around, a couple of blocks. I'm just really concerned about the kids and,
Okay.
and the people in general in that area. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Belle, you okay for driving?
I'm good.
Are you good, or are you okay for driving?
I'm very okay for driving.
Okay. All right. And so we pop in and head to the area.
Yeah. The Demon Barbers are a gang from the Acorn Grove area of the city. It's an area that is, what's the best way to put it? Stalled redevelopment.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, money was poured into it to rehaul some of the infrastructure, to renovate some of the buildings, and the funding either ran out, was stolen, or was reassigned, in no particular order. So it's not unheard of for outbreaks of violence to happen in Acorn Grove and Chestnut Grove, the adjoining area. And as you kind of enter the area itself, the street lights and kind of what few buildings are illuminated through either flickering neon lights or people working within them still. The lights go out for about 30 seconds and then kind of flicker dimly and then come back to full power.
Good. Also, side note, Ryan, would they, especially Ash, I guess, would they know like if this gang is associated with any godly activity? Like, do they associate themselves with? I will roll for this if I
Yeah,
have to.
that would be a mental roll.
Okay.
I'm open to any skills you can suggest, though.
Okay.
And obviously you pick your actual approach.
Right. I guess this would be just generalized knowledge with like having some experience with the area and knowing some gang violence from dealing with disadvantaged youth. Like or being within the communities, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess would that be I want to say not academics.
Culture?
Culture, yeah. Culture for street, especially. I've that, and then intellect, culture and intellect.
Yeah, so your street specialty wouldn't apply, but I'll give you the disadvantaged youth one because you probably do know of kids who are involved in this kind of thing.
Cool.
So, quick recap on specialties for people who missed last week. Specialties don't apply to the skill that they're associated with. They apply to every other skill. It's weird, but it works in an odd kind of way.
Wibbly wobbly.
It gives you an automatic success as long as you succeed at the roll.
Cool. So 5, and then okay, and then let's see. Difficulty you said was 5.
No, the difficulty for this would be, we'll say 2 again.
2. Okay.
Moderate.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. 9 successes.
Yikes.
I got 2 rerolls.
That's fair. Yeah. You are like on the drive over. You've been thinking about it. You've been thinking about kind of research you've done into kids of this area, so you can better help them, and general reading around the topic. And as far as you can tell, and you're reasonably confident in this assessment of the situation, there are no religious affiliations to the Demon Barbers whatsoever.
Okay.
Or let's say recognizable religious associations.
No known religious
Yes.
affiliations. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay. And then do you want us, so we're in the area, we're kind of looking around, I guess doing a tour of Acorn Grove per se.
Yeah.
Do you want us to roll for anything? Like anything we notice that could be out of place, or
Not
like
really. I mean, you don't have to drive very quickly. You can take it all in, and there aren't that many people on the streets, so that you can take your time. You can pay attention to everything, as long as one of you is paying attention to the road as well.
Isabel, eyes forward.
Isabel's got it. Though she has that look on her face like she's a pilot in this, so this car seems to be going so slow.
Yeah. Life moves too slow sometimes.
Terrestrial piloting's a drag.
As I say, it's an area of stored redevelopment, so cracked roads with patches of tarmac to fill in potholes. Not every street light's working, not all of them are intact. Most of the buildings here are intact, and some of them do show signs of money being poured into them during the redevelopment period, but a lot of them have kind of like heavy shutters down over the first few floors of windows and doors. Graffiti is pretty much everywhere. And every now and then, where the recent rains haven't completely evaporated, there are just pools of standing water, some of them with like an oil sheen on top of them. There are several kind of large-ish buildings in the area. Hang on, I will pull up my list so I don't ad-lib and complicate matters. This one would have the information. So Liam, like, you would know that Our Lady of the Merciful Night Hospital is in this area.
The what, sorry?
Our Lady of the Merciful Night. It's a hospital.
Yep.
Former convent. Couple of industrial yards. Several, cash and carry places, like Costco adjacent. The Pavilion Theatre, and several other kind of, let's say, centres of culture and urban life, as well as just residential tower blocks and things, apartment blocks and things. But driving around without going specifically into the more industrial areas, you don't see anything particularly out of place. I mean, you do see groups of kids clustered together, which you could talk to if you want. But
Ash, do you know any of these kids?
Ryan, would you like me to roll to see if I know any of the kids? Or
just roll 1d10.
1d10?
Just as a look thing.
One success.
One success? Yeah, you see a kid that you recognize in one of the groups. It's probably coming up to about midnight now.
Okay.
But you recognize a couple of the kids in one of the groups.
All right. I'm just going to look at Isabel and Liam, and I'm going to be like, stay here. I'll be right back. Get out of the car. And I wave at the kid. And I call out their name.
Okay. Do you want to give them a name?
How does Sam sound?
Okay. Yep. Sam sounds fine. Sam kind of Male, female, non-binary.
Let's go with the thems.
Okay.
Non-binary.
They kind of like, or that you catch their attention. They turn to whoever they're talking to and kind of give that like one moment finger to the group of people they're with, and then not kind of jog. And trot is kind of the wrong image, but they move faster than walking, but slower than running.
Okay.
It's dangerous this time of night.
Well, yeah, you know how I live for danger, etc., etc. How are you holding up, kid?
Oh, Mum's doing better now. Thanks for that, by the way.
No worries. I'm here for you. Listen, I don't want to concern you. Not that you already don't have 1.5 million things to worry about, but there was some really crazy things going down earlier, and I just want to make sure everything down here is okay. There was a bunch of people up at the festival, at the Black and Crimson Food Festival that was happening today. There was like a run-in with some demon barbers, and I know this is the area that they tend to congregate in, and I just want to make sure you guys are okay. Has anything been going down here? Like, what's going on? Give me the down low.
Yeah, no. And they kind of run their hair through the buzz cut. Everything's fine. They haven't been, causing trouble for us for a few weeks, which has been nice. Just letting us be, really. Sorry, I can't help more, but just kind of they stay on that side, gesturing to one half of the area, and we stay on this side, and largely they leave us be until they want something, and then obviously they come and cause trouble.
They get what they want, yeah. Sam, have you heard anyone talk about a new drug going around, something called ink?
1 second. Oh, yeah.
You haven't been messing with this shit, right?
No. I saw what it did to Mum, and not it. I saw, what drugs did to Mum, and I didn't want to. I don't want that.
Okay. Do you know anyone who's been messing around with it?
I can certainly ask around. I mean, I'm kind of out of character. You know that Sam's one of those people who knows a person who knows a person, pretty much in any situation.
I know a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I can ask around, but it might take a while to get back to you about it.
I mean, that's fine. Just keep yourself safe. As always, like, don't do anything that's going to put you into some kind of shit. All right. Also, okay, I think this, and I like kind of scooch a little closer. Sam, do you know anyone who can, so I know you don't know much about this drug, thank God, but have you ever heard anyone peddling any hardwares around here named Todd?
Todd? No. Again, I can pull the word out, but I don't. I try to stay away from all of that, and it's kind of, we all know who's dealing around here.
Right. I don't know if that's a relief. I feel like that's a boon in this case. Yeah, don't put yourself in any unnecessary risk. But if you hear anything about this, I need you to text me, okay?
Yeah.
And I need you to stay as far away from it as you possibly can, which I feel like that goes without saying.
Oh, Mum said that she was thinking we could go camping for the weekend anyway. So
I think that's great. Do you guys have someone outside of here you can stay with? Any relatives? I know that's a really hard ask.
Not really.
Okay. Well, text me if you need anything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you hear about this, just let me know, all right?
Yeah.
Let your friends know too. Tell them to stay away from this. This is some bad shit.
I will. A couple of us kids here know how important, how good your advice is, Ash. We'll make sure they listen.
All right. Stay good, Sam. And I just hustle back to the car.
Okay. They those of you in the car, they kind of watch Ash for a few moments and then turn and return and go back to their group.
Right.
Let's say.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I slide in and I close the door and I'm like, we don't have a Todd. We don't know where this is coming from. Sam's going to put their ear to the ground, but I don't know. This is weird. Like, I'm glad they're going to put their ear to the ground for us, but I don't know. I don't know, guys. This is weird. Like, maybe this is just too new for it to be widespread.
Yeah, maybe it's just. Well, I'm glad that the kids don't have it on the street, though. That's good.
At least not in this area. They don't.
Yeah, that's right. I might know some people over at the hospital if we want to go have a peek around there. I'm sure there'll be something will have turned up there, surely.
Perfect.
I don't have anything else to do tonight. Just as you know, I mean, if you're turning your wheel that much, there is something wrong with your axle.
Yeah. It might not actually be attached anymore.
Your wheel is not attached. We no longer have a vehicle.
I made a lot of modifications to this car.
Excelsior! Yeah.
I'm trying to picture the car that Isabel drives.
Maybe a Benz.
Sure. Cannon
Benz!
All right, so to the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, Lady in the Merciful Night. It's not a large hospital, but kind of it looks out for the people of the surrounding districts. I mean, Oakvale has a few. It's big enough to have like 3 hospitals, but this is the smallest of the 3.
Okay. So I say, do you guys want to stay here, or you can come in with me? I'll just be asking some of the probably just some of the nurses around here. They're the guys we usually tend to deal with.
I mean, I'll come in. We can wait in the waiting room while you talk to triage or what have you.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thanks. So just stroll on up.
Okay. I guess you probably know a lot of A&E trauma. I don't know what the accident and emergency staff, because that's that's you.
That's me. That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
So, would you like to name one of the doctors on duty on shift?
Yeah. Jane.
Okay.
She is one of the best in the city. Good reputation of being able to save lives.
Yeah, she's leaning against the like concrete frame that surrounds the door as you approach, kind of obviously having a quick breather, enjoying the clear night air. But she looks up as you approach. Liam, everything okay? You're not due for a while?
Oh, no, I'm off duty. We just ran into some issues, and I thought that hey Jane, you haven't heard of any new drug on the streets, have you?
Are you specifically using Good Listener? Although I think it's a passive effect. So
yes. Yes. Oh, it does say I have to state that I'm using it. So yes, I am using it.
That's fine. She kind of looks around as if looking for see if anyone's overhearing, like over listening, eavesdropping. There we go. Over listening. What? Anyone's eavesdropping. Are Isabel and Ash with you, or the 2 of you with Liam?
I think we were just going to be waiting in like the emergency room area, or like the waiting room.
We haven't actually got inside yet, so I didn't know how close you were.
We ran into someone on their way in. Yeah, I guess we're a couple of paces behind
him. Yeah.
So she kind of lowers her voice a little bit, but
I sort of lean in.
Not heard of anything, no, but strangest DOA earlier.
Oh, tell me.
Just eyes completely black, veins extremely pronounced and similar shade.
The smell. What was the smell like?
The
breath. Oh, no
If
breath
you
in this
tell
case,
anyone I said this, it smelled like old paper. We thought it was just
true.
some weird reaction of whatever they'd taken.
We ran into something exactly the same as that in the at the Black and Crimson Festival. We're a bit worried.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty. Let's just put it that way.
Do we know anything else about it? What it's doing to them?
I mean, the sample we drew of Paul Saul's blood still at the lab, but all of his muscle fibers had exploded.
Oh. Wow. This stuff sounds terrible.
We haven't managed to get a proper, autopsy, but...
Hey, do me a favor, would you? When you do hear back from the autopsy and the bloods, give us a buzz. Let us know. Gonna try and keep an ear out on the street.
Yeah.
See if we can isolate where this is all coming from.
Of course, yeah. Anything to stop that. I don't want to see that again. I'm being perfectly honest.
No, yeah. If we can help those who can nip this in the butt, then we should. Thanks, Jane. You're the best.
No worries, Liam.
And I walk on with Ash and Isabel.
Okay. So you go into the emergency room. There are other staff here, obviously. All of them look tired, overworked, and extremely harried. But with Liam, you probably know most of them by sight anyway, so you can realistically do whatever you want here.
I just really want to look around at the people in the emergency waiting areas in the ward. Is there anybody that looks like they could be on ink or anything like that?
There are a few people with symptoms of, like alcohol poisoning, extremely drunk, but terribly, the terrible end of drunk.
Yeah.
Mostly though, it's just like people are bleeding or holding ice packs to rapidly expanding bruises. A couple of people are just coughing uncontrollably, kind of standard late night A&E stuff.
All right, so nothing out of the ordinary then.
Nothing that you would interpret as out of the ordinary, no.
Okay. All right, let's turn to Ash and Ismail and say, look, this looks all pretty ordinary here. Jane will get back to me with any more detail on this ink, so we might be able to learn a little bit more that way. But I don't think there's much else going on here.
I don't know. I mean, it just feels like we're hitting a bunch of walls at this point.
It does, yeah.
Maybe this is just too new to be on the ground. Maybe we just wait to hear from someone. I don't know. We got we do have a lot of ears to the ground. Maybe we just wait, hang out. I need to go home. I would like to get some kind of change of clothes, maybe some real food. I feel like at this point I've been running on empty and fried dough.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you.
Let's head back, recoup once we hear something.
No worries. I give Ash and Isabel my number. Say, look, if you hear anything, let me know, and I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, likewise. Isabel, can you? I don't want to put you out of your way, but can you? I mean, your dad was there for a reason. Can you reach out to your? I mean, this is like the final straw for us. Can you reach out to your dad, see if your dad knows anything? I recognize that he's proud of you, and he chose that day for whatever reason to be your coronation into partial godliness. Can you?
It's kind of surreal.
Can you maybe process through all of this and talk to your dad, and then get back to us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool.
Okay. Until then, like I'll reach out to Michael. I'll see how he's doing.
And guys, and Isabel puts a strong hand on each of your shoulders. We got this. I don't know how, but we got this.
Liam believes her for some insane reason. Yeah.
She's gotten us through worse.
Yeah.
Gotten us through worse. So yeah.
That's the tagline for the airline she works for.
Yeah. We've got this.
Gotten through worse.
Yeah.
At least we're not American Airlines. Okay. So I guess, yeah. So once we reconvene, I'm assuming Isabel is going to drop Ash off at their car.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, Isabel, drop anyone off who needs it.
mhm.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Cool.
Do you want to talk to your Fasha now and see?
Yeah. Isabel will call Dad.
Yep, there's barely any delay before he picks up. I thought you'd call.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but we're looking into this ink thing, and we're looking for someone named Todd, and I'm guessing you know more about this.
I know that there's been gang stuff happening. I mean, the neighborhood watch gives me lots of eyes and ears, and we have been dealing with, let's just say, undesirables entering the neighborhood. But we've managed to keep them out so far. There's just some kind of big push happening throughout the city. Gangs going where they shouldn't, trying to claim territory they don't have any right to claim. Something's upsetting the balance.
So so what happens now after this?
Well, largely entirely up to you. I'm more of a hands-off kind of person.
Beauty.
You're free to chart your own course, fly your own skies.
Why was I an orphan?
Because I was. It's symbolism. And the more you step into this world, the more that this world will shape you and alter you. And I thought that if you had the right beginning, it would help.
I'm going to table that thought for now. What I mean, is there a place that Scions meet, a monthly meeting? Is there, I mean, what is it, a lifestyle change? I don't I have so many questions and I don't know how to articulate them right now.
They are as Scions are as varied as the sands in the deserts of home. You are all different. There's no one rule with exceptions. There is just what you choose to make of your life. There are more involved parents, I should say, who have very strict ideas about what their progeny can and cannot do, and should not do, but that is not my way. You will be your own person, and I would not change that.
All right. Any tips? We've kind of run into a wall on this.
Trust in yourself, trust in your allies, weather the storm as best you can. Sometimes the only thing to do is stand still and allow the sand to wash over you. And of course, when that doesn't
Okay.
work, kicking a fool through a wall feels
Okay.
really good.
Okay. You had me in the second half.
I rather suspected I might.
All right. Well, I guess we've got more to talk about later, but good night for now.
Good night, Isabel.
Hang on.
Okay. Anyone wants to do anything for the rest of the morning, I guess, at this point?
Mid-afternoon.
It's probably like 1:30 in the morning.
Hang out, maybe take a shower, nap,
Feed your fox.
feed my fox.
Feed your fox.
Gotta come up with a good name for my fox.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, as you sleep, Isabel, like you just have dreams of, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Egypt. Let's face it. Not the pyramids, but just the wide open desert, the cool waters of the Nile, the feeling for once in your life that you've only ever had in the air, but are now having on the ground, that you have found where you belong for the moment.
Okay.
This is where Michael's visitation would happen, alas. So
No. Well, it's happening somewhere.
yeah, if we don't finish today, which I don't think we will, because I can make this as long as I need to. I'll just message Rune about their visitation, or Michael's visitation.
Cool.
So you wake up the next morning. You have a text message from the police that indicates that Andre gave them your contact details for statement purposes, and it's just summoning you to the Oakvale Central police station. Just the administrative hub of the police department in Oakvale. Liam, also, you have an email from Jane.
Yeah.
It says, no word on the labs yet, but here are the personal effects. And it's just like a hasty mobile phone photograph of a bag of things. One of which, where is it? One of which is a oil-stained, slightly torn jacket with a Grant Green Enterprises logo on it. You recognize the logo. It's one of the two major green energy suppliers in the city.
Yep. Okay.
And then it's kind of like keys and sticks of gum.
No.
Kind of thing.
No, like I don't know, business cards or anything like that.
No,
that
and she has actually covered up the name on the, the bag itself for some kind of confidentiality.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool. So I'll take that and looking at the text, I chuck on my jacket and head out the door to head down to the police station. I'll send a quick thanks email back to Jane on the way out too.
Cool. Ash and Isabel, are you doing anything in particular?
No, probably just eating my fox some breakfast and then heading out as well to fill out my report for yesterday.
Copious coffee, because I don't think Isabel slept much last night. It was like the night before Christmas for her. And yeah, she's on her way to the police station.
Cool. Where's the thing? There it is. The police station itself is one of the most recent buildings to have been built in kind of this area of Oakvale. Shining steel girders, big glass windows, and within already, just as you approach, you can see that there are like a constant flow of people. This is kind of, yes, it's the central police station, but it's also the main one. There's just smaller ones dotted throughout the city with like a handful of cells, maybe like 10 or 20 officers. It's not that big a place. So most people are actually based here, and most crimes are reported here. And the aircon's on full. The weather itself is The sky is clear, but there is a humidity in the air that indicates a storm probably on its way. And there are people sitting around, the kind of generic waiting area chairs. They look like they've been there a while. You are directed to join them. There's like newspapers lying around for reading. There's a big TV on mute with, again, the subtitles. These seem slightly more accurate, or at least consistently accurate, than the ones in the bar.
Okay.
The story that is running when you sit, if anyone cares to look, is about how one of the other green energy supplier, Ashford Renewables, have pledged to upgrade existing hydroelectric equipment throughout the city. But you can kind of arrive at the same time or whatnot. It's entirely up to you.
I see the others on. Ash, Isabel. I'm still wiping sleep out of my eyes.
This giant coffee, whatever your version of this is. It's just like
Giant.
giant, huge
Like,
coffee.
likewise with Isabel, yeah. Big coffee.
Liam like sort of looks around and goes and sees like one of those little crappy ones in waiting rooms. He just goes over and pours this tiny little.
Yeah, it doesn't taste great
I
either.
don't know how you can do that.
It's burned. It's better than hospital stuff.
Yeah, it is.
But it is burned.
Life's too short to drink that, man.
You should know.
Oh man, I've had worse.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we're just here waiting for this.
Yeah. People around you are obviously having their own conversations. And if you want to talk to anyone to get their perspective, you're more than welcome to, or we can just skip to when you get summoned. It's your choice.
I'm all for skipping to getting summoned personally.
Yeah.
Okay. You are summoned individually. So we'll start with Liam. You're shown to standard interview room. Fluorescent lighting, harsh white glare, dark walls. This isn't an interview room for suspects, so there's no mirror on the wall. It's just panelled. The woman behind the desk looks exhausted, but her hair is mostly trying to escape from the tight ponytail it's pulled into. Her kind of badge name tag identifies her as R. Stein. And she kind of gestures for you to sit as you enter and pulls a face as she finishes a cup of some kind of drink.
Sit down. I just hold out my hand to shake. Say, Liam, officer.
She shakes it. Roxanne.
Nice to meet you, Roxanne.
And I have been awarded the opportunity to stay here all night and all morning, taking witness statements. So, anyway.
I can understand.
Yeah, it's been a long night. Let's put it that way.
It's rough.
So, where were you? She turns to a clean page in the notebook. Where were you when it happened?
We were just coming out of the mirrors maze, having been successful there, and then sort of making our way back, and we heard the noise, and so we went to investigate, and then it happened.
Okay.
Horrible.
What noise did you hear?
Just a lot of shouting and someone screaming.
Okay.
As well. Yeah.
Kind of writes it down as you say it, obviously. What did you say you went to investigate? What do you actually mean by that?
Oh, just to go see what was happening. Make sure there was me personally working in the medical field. I just wanted to make sure nobody was hurt. Really, it's a bit of a duty.
Was anyone hurt?
Yeah, look, I think there there might have been a few people hurt. No real innocence that I could see, but there would have been if my friends hadn't have stepped in.
Okay. Almost done, I assure you. This is just kind of preliminaries, and then if we need to follow up, obviously we will.
Yeah.
Get in touch. Can you remember anything odd?
Yeah. They seem to be tweaking.
Okay.
From everything I could see, some changed the color of their eyes.
She writes it down, and under her breath says, "Still nothing about tongs." Sorry, still nothing about timber carrying tongs. But that's kind of like a. Are you asking me as story guide or her as?
Oh, I'm asking her. Sorry, can you just repeat that?
Yeah. Someone saw some weird tongs, which we think were for carrying large pieces of timber.
Oh.
They were being used as a weapon. It's just one person saw it. No one else can corroborate, so we don't know if it's important at all.
Not sure. Nothing that I saw, but do you know anything about this? And I'm going to use my good listener again.
Yep, that's fine.
Know anything about what's going on here? It seemed really weird that the barbers are in this area making this sort of a scene, and I'm really worried about this drug they seem to be on. It's something like I've never seen before.
Yeah, unfortunately, not more than anyone. She kind of gestures in the vague direction of the, the waiting room. Not well known anyone out there. We don't know why they did it. We know that there are several tests being run at various hospitals at the hospitals throughout the city on the injured members of the gang with things that we can't explain or identify, and we're waiting back on our own medical resources, but we don't know much. There's I've not been told anything that would indicate why they were here, but obviously that's all.
Yeah, and this Todd guy, I tell you.
That'd be more the gang unit than just a uniform.
So you know who this Todd person might be then?
No, although if he's pretty high up in the if he's actually, she would not know anything about him, so she's kind of looking at you. Do you know anything about him?
Oh, just one of them mentioned something about a Todd gave him some this new drug called ink. Just thought you might have heard something.
No, she writes down
interested, I guess.
Todd with a question mark, but something we can look into, obviously, certainly.
Oh, absolutely, officer.
And then kind of blinks back to herself like, okay, that was weird. Why did I say all that? And then kind of looks down at the notes. Last question. Is there anything that we can do to help you?
Look, honestly, in my field, I'm a paramedic, so if you do find anything out about this drug, us in the medical profession would really like to know anything about it.
Of course, we will share anything we can with the relevant professionals.
Absolutely. Give me a buzz if you need to, and I can let my colleagues be aware of anything,
of course.
Areas, things like that.
Is anything else you can think of that we should be aware of? If not, you're free to.
No, I think that's it for me. It's very nice meeting you, Roxanne. I'll hopefully we meet again under better circumstances.
Hopefully. The uniform who escorted you here kind of leads you back to the waiting area. It's up to you if you want to wait for Isabel and Ash to be done or to leave.
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah.
Okay. A couple more people are called, and then it's Ash's turn. So you're shown to the same interview room. It's the same officer behind the desk. She looks even more tired now. But she's got a fresh cup of what smells to you like bad coffee.
Bar.
Please sit, Roxanne.
Yep. And they go ahead and sit down and kind of incline their head to have Roxanne continue so that.
Okay, yeah, just a couple of questions. This is a preliminary thing, and if we have any follow up, would you be okay for us to contact you for more information?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. So, where were you when all of this happened?
Well, I'm sure Liam told you the same thing. We were all hanging out in the midway. We just came out of doing like a fun house game of mirrors, and we heard a ruckus. Made our way over. Or wait, yeah, made her
Okay.
way over. You know.
Yeah, she kind of she flipped through the notebook as if to check what Liam said, which does move it slightly, and you can see the edge of a business card with a logo on it. Not enough, and kind of like the start of a couple of words, just because of the way the formatting is. So you can see SMY as in that's all part of the first word, and then COM as the second word vertically below it.
Can you repeat those letters for me, please?
SMY, so Sierra Mike. Oh god, it's been so long.
Yes.
Yes, sure, why not? And then Charlie, Oscar, Mike.
Okay. All right.
Complete mind blank on the phonetic alphabet. And she kind of nods to herself, confirming that that's what Liam said, and goes back to the page that she's writing notes on for you and readjusts the notebook. And when you went, what did you see?
Bunch of thugs starting some trouble. I'm assuming they seemed pretty high. I'm assuming they were trying to hit up people for cash, although I don't know why they were out of their territory. Have you all talked to anybody else about this? Like, it just seems I work in the community. I don't know if we've ever run across each other, but
you probably wouldn't have met this officer before.
Yeah, like I don't know. As a concerned citizen, this just doesn't sit right with me, especially for the safety of our community. I don't know who else you guys are getting involved with this, but have you talked to anyone else about all this going on?
We are
any of the other precincts.
We are of course contacting all of the relevant professionals. As you said, as you mentioned, you were with Mr. McMahon at the time. We have reached out to the hospitals for their medical expertise on some of the unfortunate casualties, and we are our community team is assembling a plan of action to kind of as an outreach awareness for this new situation on top of the the rising gang violence situation in general. Did you do anything when you saw these gang members attacking the public?
I mean, I tried to diffuse the situation as best as I could, but it felt like they were intent on the violence they created. Yeah.
Okay.
I just tried my best to diffuse the situation, use the tools that have been provided to me through my training, and yeah, just they had no interest in de-escalating. So we helped physically restrain some of them until the police officers could arrive.
Well, we are very grateful for your assistance. I personally speaking, I've seen what one of them did, and you have my respect for helping in such a way. Speaking of such things, can you remember anything odd about what you saw, what went on around you, the instigators of the violence?
I mean, they seemed like they were on some kind of drug. Like, I don't know what it was, but it's nothing I've ever seen or experienced before. And it felt like a lot like PCP or meth or bath salts or any of those, like a lot of rage, a lot of unbridled emotions. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing I've experienced yet, nothing I've experienced before. So
This ties up with what a lot of people are saying. I want to reassure you that we will be doing everything we can to tackle this problem before it explodes. Final question though: is there anything that we can do to support you through this ordeal?
I mean, probably nothing you personally can do. I'm for one really worried about the marginalized and disaffected communities. If this is a new drug, this is going to end up affecting a lot of families that I directly work with. I don't know. Like, do you know if this is popping up from one professional to another? Do you know if this is popping up anywhere else? Like, should I be keeping an eye out for this?
She kind of goes to the back page of her notebook and tears it out and writes down a name and an email address. I'm not involved in that side of things, but this is one of the more senior members of the community outreach team, and she kind of slides it across to you. They'll be able to answer any questions you have about that. Ordinarily, of course, I wouldn't give out such information, but I have attended several events where you've been a prominent speaker about communal work. So, in fact, it's probably an email you already have. But
can I ask who the contact is, and obviously just the name, and we can make up an email from there?
We'll say Simone White.
Is this person a known Scion or anything like that?
No, they're just a member of the police. We'll say that they're like second tier organization of the community outreach team. So they don't head it, but they're deputy or assistant or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you very much. And if I end up remembering anything else, I can contact you directly, or we'll have you, one of your superiors, and let you know. But I think I've given you as much information as I have available at the moment.
That is, thank you. It is appreciated. We obviously don't have much to go on when sudden attacks like this happen, but we're doing what we can.
I appreciate it.
She kind of presses a button on the desk and the door opens, and the guy who showed you here kind of hovers expectantly in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna get? Is there anything else you want to say or ask, or are you happy to just be led back to your seat?
I'm happy to go wait on my compatriots. Just
okay. Isabel is called up next anyway, so.
All right. Mm-hmm. Isabel saunters in.
Same room, same officer, same situation. Please have a seat, Miss King. Roxanne.
Thank you.
She kind of offers her hand.
Shakes it vigorously.
Just a handful of questions, and if this is purely a preliminary thing, if we have any follow-up questions, are you happy to be contacted for such purposes?
Absolutely.
Okay, so she makes a note of that. Okay, as I say, just a few questions. Where were you when this happened? When this incident, this terrible incident happened?
So there we were. We're riding the high of having won the plushy dog and improv. I mean, our scene was probably pretty mediocre, but it was kind of a rush unexpectedly. And we see the ruffians, and we all kind of went into action. Friends tried to mitigate things, make sure people were safe. I moved forward, and the assailants, they I don't think it was very clear they weren't going to be talked down.
I accidentally minimized Zoom. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. There we go. Sorry about that. Technical problem.
Dun, dun, dun,
Sorry, you were saying. I was panicking.
So my dad is a good watch guy and brought his daughter up a certain way, so I kind of stepped in and intervened.
And we are very grateful for your intervention. Having I saw what one of the prisoners did on his way in, and I don't know if I would intervene had I been there as in my official capacity. So, hats off to you, Miss King. What did you? Well, you've kind of covered these next two questions. So, can you remember anything odd about the incident? Any odd weapons? Anything weird happening?
I don't remember weapons. Black eyes. Old book breath. They called it ink, the drug. I'm sure the others have mentioned that.
She kind of flips through a few pages, and you see the corner of a business card, but like half the logo and nothing else. Just because she's moving the notebook as she's turning pages. Ink has come up, but the eyes and the breath smell has not. So thank you for that.
Oh, yeah. It was, weird breath, black eyes, and I don't think they were in their right mind.
No, clearly not. Is there anything that we can do to help you through this?
No, I'm good. I'm surprisingly good. Is there anything I can do to help as a concerned citizen?
I mean, apart from being able to just wait to respond to any follow-up questions, no, we right now just obviously stay safe, and if you think of anything else, let us know.
All right. Excellent.
If there's nothing else, I'm done here. So she kind of presses the button again, and the officer comes back, opens the door behind you.
Isabel gets up, nods, and leaves.
Okay, so you're all back together in the waiting room. There are fewer people now. People have largely been leaving after their interview, and it's been a few hours. The TV's kind of it's basically on like a local news 24/7 radio TV channel. It's now just running a story about the rising gang attack violence, but it's kind of largely nothing that you don't recall reading or seeing before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
so how'd you guys go?
probably about the same as you. On the right side, if we still want to continue with this Scooby Gang, if you will, I did get a lovely little contact in the form of Simone White. I've heard of her before, but
Simone White.
Yeah, I might. She does a lot of like community outreach worky stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, as a concerned citizen and fellow coworker, I'm gonna see if I can reach out to her via email, see if she's heard of anything, see if she can give us
email that
her what we've experienced.
Absolutely, that'd be great. Hopefully she'll know something then. Check this out, and I pull up the email on my phone from Jane, and I show the image to Ash and Isabel. And I say, this was on the DOA last night. Check it out. Looks to be maybe an employee of was it Grant, the green logo on the
Grant
for one
Green
of the energy
Enterprises.
Grant Green Enterprises
Business name.
Yep, he seems to be Seems to be a member of, or one of the employees of Green Enterprises. Could be something.
Possibly. I mean, depending on how designer this drug is.
Yeah.
I say it's a clue.
Dum,
You would.
dum.
Ow.
It
All
might
right.
be.
I mean, I'm assuming we are in a time frame and period of time where I can just be sending an email from my phone to
Yes.
this Simone White, updating them of the situation and asking in return, giving them my support, as well as asking if they have any information as well. Also, could you do me a favor? IRL, could you repeat the name of that company that human works for?
Green Enterprises?
All right.
Green Enterprise.
That name?
Yeah, one of the two energy companies in town, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The other one being Ashford
That's just-
Renewables.
For my own personal in real life notes, I just making sure I have everything down this time, because we're being hit with a lot of information, and notes are important when you're doing this kind of play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Investigatory stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
So like I send Simone a message, hugs and kisses, etc., etc.
Yes.
And I guess hopefully they'll get back to me in a timely manner.
Yes. Amber, do you want to turn your video off and relocate then, and then we can move
am
on.
I? Yeah, sure.
If you want to, it's up to you to relocate.
Yeah, let me figure out how to do that.
It's at the bottom because it just saves.
Oh yes, way at the bottom.
Just saves making the whole screen black for people on Twitch.
Yeah. And then I'm also going, just so everyone knows, I'm also going to mute my mic, but I am still here.
Okay.
Short break, that's all. So I would also like to take this opportunity to explain to, I guess, Phil and Josh, but also anyone in chat who may not know, or who's watching this on YouTube who may not know. Scion's, broadly speaking, broken down into 3 scenes. I touched on this last time. Action-adventure, which is exactly what it sounds like. Intrigue, which is the social side of things, and procedural, which is what you're doing now. So if you want to just abstract things as dice rolls, we can, to follow up on clues. Or if you want to just, go places and talk to people, that works for me too. There is on your character sheet, you have your paths. And you can invoke your paths. So it's like a once per session for free kind of thing. You can draw upon your paths connections or contacts, which you define when you need them. That's why the area on your character sheet is blank. And it's what it sounds like. So any reasonable thing that your path would give you access to, you have access to that thing. If that makes sense?
Yeah. It does.
In a longer term game, the paths can also ask favors of you in return for you using them. But for this, it'll be just kind of, you can't use it for the rest of the session.
Okay.
If you want to call upon any of that stuff. Equally, as I said, I'm happy for us just role play the investigation of you going places and looking for things. If you do end up having dice rolls, there are a couple of things that can happen if you fail the roll. They're called consolations, so that the story keeps going forwards. Momentum, which is an expendable resource you do have on your character sheet. It camps out at 8, starts at 4. Well, it's, I guess technically for today it camps out at 6 and starts at 3, but you can spend that to add 1 to dice pools and to activate certain knacks. It'll say if it requires momentum. But other consolations are things like you meet someone useful that you weren't specifically looking for, but they can help in some way.
Right.
Not usually directly helpful, because otherwise it wouldn't be a failure. But it's kind of... just checking I hadn't made my Zoom by accident again. It is there to help. I can't remember the other ideas off the top of my head, so give me a sec. I will pull them up. Control F. I love it when a PDF has character recognition. Constellation 78. That didn't help in any way. But it can also improve someone's attitude towards you if you're using dice rolling to resolve social encounters. Mm-hmm. So obviously we've been doing a lot of just role-playing through social encounters, but you can also... There is a social like combat side of things. If you're familiar with Chronicles of Darkness, you know, the whole doors system?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
This is all going off when I read it a couple of weeks ago, but characters start with an attitude towards you, and that attitude can impose like complications and difficulties on the rolls depending on what their attitude is. But you can improve the attitude. So I think one of Michael's knacks allows him to improve the attitude of whoever he's talking to by 1.
Oh, cool.
Just like to start with. Where is it?
Yep.
So, soothing presence. When you enter an initial social encounter, reduce attitude by 1. Which, for a lot of people, would actually make them kind of friendly towards you, because that would put them to attitude 1, because they start off indifferent. If you want to abstract, if you're a group or a player who prefers just rolling dice to, you know, having the conversations, and either's valid. I know people who prefer rolling the dice to.
You're right. You can switch back and forth, and
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's always an option if you want to roll dice, just ask if you can roll dice, and we'll see.
Cool. I think with my good listener, Knack, that sort of gives me the opportunity to use something that doesn't use dice so much, but I'll definitely be looking to throw some more dice as well. So
here it is. Fateful encounter. So it reveals another approach to your goals. It just gives you an alternative way of solving the goal. Chance meeting, so someone who can help just in general, or an unlooked for advantage, which is just a flat enhancement in a future challenge.
Alrighty.
Actually, getting a botch gives you 2 momentum if we're keeping track of momentum. But momentum, you can add dice to a pool. You can, and it's 1 per die. You can also add an interval. So you remember when we did the mirror maze? I was talking about intervals, and it was an extended action, complex action that would take 3. Each interval was like 5 minutes long.
Yep.
If you are doing a complex action that has a definite time limit, you can spend 3 momentum to extend that time limit by an interval. And as I say, if you've got any knacks that require momentum, you can. The main thing to bear in mind with momentum is if you are doing it to add dice to a pool, that's a table decision.
Right.
So everyone has to say yay to actually allow you to do it.
Okay.
Alrighty.
If anyone in the chat has questions while Amber gets reset up, please feel free to ask now. Obviously, feel free to ask questions anyway, but we just have to address them when we can.
Hi, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Okay, I will have to mess with the overlay because...
Sorry about that, folks.
Zoom, for some reason, decided that... Hang on. I need this on the monitor I can actually see it on.
One of the...
Nope.
There we go. As many of you are probably aware, the U.S. is probably, as well as anyone else at the moment, is under basically social isolation. I have roommates. I had to relocate so that my beautiful, wonderful roommate who works in crisis services can have the office space for their own job at the moment.
Yep.
So
just making sure that worked. That did work. Excellent. Okay. Were you listening for the momentum explanation? I was just filling the air more than anything.
I was. If I have any questions or if you want to give me a nudge, let me know. But I think I have it pretty much.
As I was just trying to fill the air more than anything, but if you had any questions from it, that's fine. So yes, we will pick back up. You have all been interviewed by a very tired police officer. We'll say that took you to lunchtime, so the afternoon is to do with as you will.
Get some lunch.
Yeah.
Are there any so we're like mid-city?
Yeah, there's eateries everywhere.
Let's go to like a hot dog vendor type thing and just grab the quickest thing I can because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always on the run, always heading to a job somewhere. You eat when you can. You're not picky about it.
Hot dogs and bad coffee? How do you survive?
Barely. I'm surviving. I am. And he puts on that brave face again.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Have I heard anything from Simone at this point?
You got kind of a standard reply. You know that she's typically quite busy, and if she has anything else, it'll take a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Isabel buys an extra real coffee and brings it to Liam and hands it to him, saying, "Physician, heal thyself."
And my eyes just widen. Oh.
You've taken your first steps into a bigger world.
Thank you, Isabel. Can I sit there while sipping my excellent coffee and maybe just try and think of all the different pieces happening and make a roll on that?
Yeah, that would be a mental roll, probably.
Yep.
Completely open to suggestions about skill.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say... no, culture, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, just thinking
or
about...
leadership, maybe?
Leadership,
kind of high-level overview of things.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, leadership. So I'm going to go with resolve.
Cool, yep.
And in the face of adversity, can't really figure out what's going on. I'm just going to try and put it all together as one big thing. 4, 5... it's 2.
2 successes?
2 successes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so kind of everything... Oh, I did it again. I gotta really stop doing that. There we go. As the rich caffeine enters your veins, and you can taste the world. The salient points that jump out to you that seem, connected are the fact that there is an uptick in gang violence as a strange aggression-inducing drug hits the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know where it's come from, but you know that Todd has been giving it to the Demon Barbers.
Yep.
Who are based in an area of stalled redevelopment. Connected point is that, and kind of because you never really thought about it, it was kind of just a periphery thing. But as with Ashford Renewables, Grant Green Enterprises do maintain several hydroelectric kind of plants, equipment. Plants. Yeah, plants is the word.
In the area.
In that in the Acorn Grove area of the city.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All of them near the river.
I see all these numbers going around my head, and I sort of, hey guys. Grant Green Enterprises is in that area that the barbers tend to be known. as the territory. I really think this is something. I really think it's something. Do you think we should go? Think we should go check out one of these plants that might be in that area?
I mean, we could. I don't know. Do you have any idea how we're? I mean, I feel like we're at the end of our capabilities. Unless you know someone who can get us in there, we can look around the outside.
We can definitely go have a look at the plant from the outside, like you said. Yeah, I think that's a start at least. Probably. I mean, do you know roughly where the barbers tend to come from in that district?
They're all over.
Yeah, they're mostly like the industrial side of things, in the freight yards and whatnot, with the abandoned buildings, essentially.
Yep. I say we go check it out. I haven't really got much else, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is when Ash's phone kind of beeps, and Sam has sent just a quick message. Staying safe, but word is that, let's say, oh god, complete mind blank on names. I know names, like they're normal things to know. Isaac Hall, who has like crossed your desk a couple of times as a regular troublemaking kid, has like kind of joined the Demon Barbers. Last I saw, he let's say, last person who saw him said he was going into the industrial area. Bad, and then just kind of a couple of like unnecessary spaces. Real bad place.
Okay. Do you know where? Can I send a text message back and it's like, thanks, kid. Stay safe. Do you know whereabouts?
There's a couple of minutes, and then by the river. Sorry, nothing else.
All right. Okay. So I look up at everyone else and, well, we can go check out the plant and maybe they're by a river, but Sammy just got back to me, and one of their associates, it sounds so weird using that word for kids, but someone they know ended up joining the Barbers recently, and they're in a not so great place right now. So we can go scour. I mean, do I know what this kid looks like?
Yes, you do.
I mean,
kind of average height, long-ish hair. The last time you saw him, he was you had encouraged him to kind of like join a gym as a way of expressing of dealing with pent up emotions and things, just like workouts to help. But you know he's got a violent side.
So it makes perfect sense for this kid to hook up with the Barbers if he's not getting fed emotionally. All right. Well, let's go. I guess let's go see. I mean, we can drive by the plants, see what that gives us.
Yep.
We can take looking for someone in this big of a city is going to be like looking for a needle in a haystack, but maybe we can take a couple of extra blocks to see if I can spot Isaac.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to see what he's doing and who he's hanging out with.
Seems like this kid needs help, so yeah, I'm down for it.
I mean, I don't want to engage unless we absolutely have to, but like I just like maybe he would know who Todd is. I mean, it's our best. I feel like we're pulling at loose fibers at the moment, but like maybe he knows Todd. Maybe who knows? Who knows? But let's try this out.
The Isabel.
To the Ismobile.
Ismo.
Okay. So you head back to the area of the city. You would know, just as general knowledge living here, there are a couple of places on the river that make use of hydroelectric equipment from both Grant Green and Ashford Renewables.
Sorry, is this the river that my father had pulled the body from the river?
Yeah, that was based entirely on what you could see in the background of the news report. That was just way upriver from this area of the city.
All right.
Sorry if that wasn't clear. Where is it? There is the Morrison Freight Yard, the Fields Freight Yard, and the Green Freight Yard. Those are all the ones you, off the top of your head, that have been prominent recently because of all of the buzz around renewing hydroelectric stuff.
Okay. So we head over to the Green Freight Yard.
Because it's written, the Green Freight Yard has an E on the end of it. Grant Green doesn't. It is just the color green.
Right. Okay.
I realised that I might have to change that name to avoid confusion.
Yeah. All right. So, sorry, it was the Green Freight Yard, the
Fields Freight Yard, and the Morrison Freight Yard. I'm going to make a note of that, actually.
Any of those known to be plants for Grant Green Enterprises?
There's, without doing research into like public planning and stuff, you wouldn't especially know.
Can I Google it?
Yeah. What are you Googling?
Just the
different keywords.
Okay. I'm just gonna look for each of those plants in Google.
Okay.
Easy.
So we'll go with the way that they're written in this document. The Morrison Freight Yard is kind of like the first couple of search results are from Smythe's Industrial and Commercial Holdings, just kind of with empty spaces to lease. And then kind of there's a couple of news articles about both Ashford Renewables and Grant Green Enterprises kind of renewing the equipment they have on site.
Okay.
And then there's a couple of other things like thought pieces about what that space could be turned into in the future. The Fields one, that one is largely the same. Couple of fewer empty buildings, but a couple to be leased by Smythe's Industrial and Commercial Holdings. That one only has Ashford Renewables associated articles with it.
Okay.
And again, think pieces about what to do with decaying urban sites. And then the Green Freight Yard, this one, hang on 1 second. Yep, again has empty buildings being leased by Smythe's Industrial and Commercial Holdings. Is linked to both Ashford Renewables and Green Grant Enterprises, and has, oddly, a couple of blog posts about ghost sightings.
Why not?
All right. He likes a good ghost story.
Yeah.
They're kind of all along the river in Acorn Grove.
Okay. So what do you guys reckon as I read out these search results to them?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've had a corrupt person put their fingers in multiple pots, stirring trouble.
Yep.
I'm hesitant to say they are Pablo Escobar level trouble, but I mean, who knows? So this all looks, fairly of the norm. I don't know. What do you think? What are you thinking, Liam?
I'm just thinking that, I'm thinking that maybe there's a single person or entity that's sort of maybe touching or possibly have something to do with this drug in those plants, whether they're creating or whether they're distributing it. I don't know, but in one of these plants, I think that there's something happening that's maybe the cause of all this. But without looking closer, I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I've got a weird question. I'm just throwing this out there to the ether because weirder things have happened. As I look at Isabel, the newly formed demigod.
Yep.
So, anything on that list mention a company or a name or a person with the initials SMY or the first 3 letters of their name SMY?
Ooh. On the search?
On the search.
It's Smythe with a Y.
Mm-hmm.
Smythe's Industrial and Commercial Holdings.
Okay. So our friend Roxanne had a card stuck in her book. I couldn't read the whole name, but this name was in her book. I don't know.
Okay. So that's
things are getting tighter and weird.
Yeah.
This is starting to look more like a political move than a bad gang riot gone wrong. I am not equipped for this. All right. So I don't know. Do we have any? Do you know anyone over at Smythe or anyone who's had any dealings? Isabel? Does your
Isabel is gonna think on this whole Smythe mystery, and I'd like to invoke her, or however this works, her path of Lightbringer. I want to illumine this mystery.
Okay. So that's when I wrote the character, that was about her part-time thing of atmospheric science and solar energy and stuff. So if you can tell me how someone you met doing that, would it help?
Some technical person that maybe I learned some of that from, because I do have a specialty in atmospheric instruments, who maybe works for one of those corporations now or something parallel. I don't know.
An engineer or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be more likely to work for, say, Ashford Renewables or Grant Green Enterprises than in a commercial holdings company.
If we look up Smythe Commercial Industrial, do they have any buildings or anything, any leases, public leases in the city?
They have many.
They're one of those people.
Do they have any private helipads and corporate pilots that work for them that I'd maybe be friends with?
I know.
Market Forces Business Analytics is one of their clients. You don't know what they do, but if that's on the list I've got in this document that I wrote, the most logical to have some kind of helipad.
All right. Do you want to try to nudge out? And I think I think we should try to see if we can locate Isaac at this point.
Agree.
Until we can figure out a way into one of these buildings. We're just kind of driving blind at this point. So let's see if we can find Isaac.
Although if Isabel does know someone from Smythe Holdings, maybe they can assist with access.
Yeah. I'm hesitant to believe that they're just going to let us walk in and look around, but maybe they know something that we don't.
A lot of the leases were kind of like interested parties inquire viewings possible.
Okay. Maybe we can take a look around.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. Go have a look around. Oh, I'm really worried about your friend, to be honest. One of your kids.
It wouldn't be the first time, and it wouldn't be the last time this very specific child has gotten into a bind that they've needed help getting out of. I'm just hoping they're sturdy enough to make it out of this one, because I don't like what that drug has done to the people that we have seen so far. And this kid is not a kid who needs roid rage. Trust me. So yeah, let's see. Also, here's the thing, folks. Anyone armed at the moment?
Not really, no.
All right. Let's see if we can find this kid. There is a good chance this kid might be confrontational. I'm just based off of how I know him and based off of what we've seen so far that this drug can do. And if he's taking and not just dealing, like I'm going to approach him when we find him, but I just need someone on my 6. He might react poorly if a group of us approach him, but like
I'm always on your 6.
On my 6, my 3,
absolutely,
my 9, my 12.
I'm always there for you.
Just hovering.
Helicopter. Would I have access to, say, a sedative or something like that that could stop a kid going mental or becoming violent, just to neutralize the situation? Being a doctor without borders.
If you invoked one of your paths, yes. Equally, if you want to have, let's say, more of an off-the-books access to some sedatives, that works as well for me.
From the company.
I would like to invoke one of my paths, the Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
Possible,
yeah, so it will take, a short amount of time, but someone who can get you a sedative or 2.
Yep.
No question. Well, no questions asked now.
Yep. And I'll just say, look, I can get these sedatives should it go south, and it'll be less damaging to those involved. Should we need to use it? It's probably one of the better ways to go about it.
I mean, that's true, but I feel like we're going to have to wait on those sedatives before we approach this kid, and I don't know if we can wait that long.
Alrighty. Yeah, exactly. So need to get it at some other point. We can, but let's go see Isaac. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
Yay.
So the kind of, as I said, you have the choice of 3 rough industrial areas to go to that fit that side of the Acorn Grove and by the river. Sorry, I looked down. I'm counting off my fingers. Morrison's, Green, or Fields. Morrison, Green, or Fields freight yards. All of them have kind of river access in the form of jetties. All of them have some kind of rail access. They're all surrounded by like industrial grade chain link fencing with barbed wire wrapped around the top.
But to the closest one, I guess. Is that Fields?
That was the only one not associated with the Grand Green Enterprises.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Probably go to Green then, just because of the name.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I just wanted to remind you of that fact that you had the Grand Green Enterprises thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. The Green Freight Yard, green with an E on the end, is, as I say, it's surrounded by chain link fencing, but it's not difficult to see the hole that's been cut through it. Let's put it that way. The sky above you is starting to get dark as clouds start rolling in. The storm that this morning has promised is slowly making itself known. The concrete is cracked. There are a few buildings here, but not that many, and they're all kind of like shuttered with large "Enquirers Welcome" to lease signs on them. The the logo on the signs matches the logo that Ash saw on the business card. At first glance, however, it seems abandoned.
They always are. Okay. Well, I'm going to get out of this car, and I'm going to try to fit myself through that chain link fence. I'm going to take a quick look around. If you guys want to come, try to stay, just from working with these kids, if you approach them as a group, they're going to get scared and they're going to get either aggressive or they're going to run. So if you guys are coming, which I'm assuming both of you are coming,
Absolutely.
try to stay like 15 paces behind me or so.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Take your lead on that.
Isabel is going to take a tire iron with her and just kind of hide it in her voluminous jacket.
Yeah.
Liam is going to take his hands.
Okay.
Not one for violence.
Unscrews his doctor hands, puts on the boxing hands.
Yeah.
Special gloves.
Go, Dr. Hands.
Ash, you're going first, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. You can fit through the hole in the chain link. It's pretty sizable.
Mm-hmm.
The freight yard, like I guess most industrial areas, is built around a rough square system. In that this, you can see from the hole in the fence. You can see the jetty in the distance. You can see the where boats would pull up if this were still being used. Mm-hmm. You can see a couple of cranes standing dormant behind some warehouse buildings. You can see the warehouses themselves. You can see smaller kind of outbuildings. You can see a building that kind of projects out over the river, which even from where you are, you can see kind of what you would assume to be danger of death electricity signs. The
mm-hmm.
yellow triangles.
Mm-hmm.
The only kind of sign of life in this area, apart from the windblown debris, you do catch the sign of the sight of some movement behind one of the smaller outbuildings.
Okay. I'm gonna start making my way towards that movement.
Okay. You get to the corner of the building and you can hear a quiet, calm voice. Just, "Are you okay? Please tell me if there's anything I can do." And then more of a kind of mumble.
Okay. So I pick up my pace and then I kind of like look around the side of the building without making myself known immediately.
Okay, that's fine. There is a person of maybe American Japanese descent or heritage, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crouched down in front of what is clearly a homeless person. He's kind of wrapped in rags, like long unkempt hair and beard. There's the remains of like fast food wrappers nearby that have been absolutely hoovered clean of any food. And the person who's crouched down just appears to be trying to see if they can help in any way.
Okay. I'm going to approach and make my presence known, and I'm just going to say, "Are they all right?"
Oh, obviously the habitation that they find themselves in is regrettable, but there are so many more here, and we just can't help them all, can we?
No, but we could try our damnedest. My name's Ash. Are they all right? Are they okay? Is it just an exhaustion?
I think it's just exposure. I mean, and they kind of look up at the clouds, and I don't want them to be out another night, day, afternoon, any longer than they have to in the storm. But I've been trying to get them to move, but they won't even go inside.
We can call them an ambulance if necessary. I've got a friend on hand. We can at least, it's not much, but it'll get them out of the weather for 12 hours, half day, depending on how harmed they are.
That would
Wouldn't be the
help.
first time. Wouldn't be the first time we've called an ambulance to get someone a bed for the night.
Well, there's the whole homeless camp in that warehouse, and kind of they gesture at a nearby warehouse. I just can't convince them to go inside.
Have you seen any kids running around here?
Kids,
Young adults between 13 and 17.
not especially.
No, just all adults at this point.
Here, yes.
What's your name?
Oh, right. Sorry. And they kind of straighten, and offer a hand. Inari.
Inari. Pleasure to meet you. Do you think, is it a safe situation to walk into in there? Should we see if anyone else needs some help?
Makes me proud that you would come this far without considering if it was safe first. I believe it to be safe in there, yes.
All right. And I kind of wave you guys over. And
so you see the same scene. Isabel, there's something about this person, even though they are nowhere near as tall or as intimidating as your father, but they give off the same kind of presence.
You seem familiar somehow.
Oh, I am everywhere. I get around. You'd probably just see me on the street.
Who are you?
That I am Inari.
all right.
Do we recognize Inari at all?
As in, like, facially, or the name?
Both, really.
They do get kind of seem familiar in that. Oh, hey, I might have seen you at some time. Sorry. Now every time I go to the document and stuff, I'm terrified I've minimized Zoom. Anything else would be a mental-based pool of something.
Something.
Yeah.
Intellect and, I don't know, a cult or something?
Yeah, occult, culture. Either of those.
Cool. Yeah, both of those are the same for me, so I will just roll that pool. And that is a nice botch.
Okay, so 2 momentum added to the pool, which I think at this point is capped out. But you don't remember anything.
All right.
Sorry, did you say something, Liam?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, you're trying to. So what's going on here exactly?
I was trying to get this individual to, gestures at the homeless person on the floor, to go into the warehouse over there to wait out the storm with the rest of the homeless people who call this area, well, home.
Would you like some help? Maybe we
Any assistance would be
talk to him. Yeah.
appreciated. He won't listen to me.
I sort of like back up to the wall where this person's huddled up against, and I sort of like slide down and get next to him, and just say, "Hi, how are you?"
Hi, yeah, I'm just real hungry, you know.
I think there's some good food over there at the shelter. I can smell it from here. I'm going to try and persuade him that that's probably a good place for him to be.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm assuming
a social-based pool of
social composure, because it's being very composed in the.
Works for me.
Yeah. And maybe empathy as well.
Yep, that works.
A whole lot of dice. All right. 1, 2, 3. That would be 4 successes.
Okay. The guy kind of slowly and really awkwardly, kind of leaning against the wall, pushes himself to his feet, grabs his stuff, and walks through Inari to the warehouse.
Through him, as in
As in,
ghostly like?
Yeah, as in one of those two is not corporeal, kind of.
And I just like, what? For someone who's so composed.
Ah, well, that would explain why he wouldn't respond to me.
can I like reach my arm out and just like pat Inari's shoulder? Like,
Yeah,
Social distancing, man.
that's solid to you.
I usually ask consent before I do this. Was he a ghost?
No, as far as I can tell, he's as human as most other people.
What did you mean by that would explain it?
Oh, well,
What would
sometimes
explain
I forget
what?
to manifest fully. That's quite embarrassing, really. I didn't expect to do it this way. And then kind of the air around Inari shimmers, and there is the kind of the smell of fresh cut grass, the sound of children laughing, of do you know like what a fox cry sounds like?
Like a bark.
Yeah, that, and then the oddity which you hadn't really paid much attention to, but Inari wasn't casting a shadow, resolves itself, and Inari is now casting a shadow. That should be better.
Oh.
I've never asked this before, but are you a god?
In your parlance, yes. I'm Million Spirit, one of the millions.
I usually pleasure to meet you. Thank you for your help. What are you doing here?
Well, see, I was just seeing how you were doing, actually. Hoping that you were doing well. But I saw this gestures to the back of the homeless guy. Man in need, and couldn't help myself, but I guess I forgot to actually be here. Sorry.
So clearly Ash turns to Isabel and is like, did your dad send a babysitter?
When Inari said about hoping you're doing well, were they addressing a particular one of us? Did it seem?
Good question.
I'm like, Ash, I think Inari's here for you.
What?
Well, yes. It's more just a. I was just trying to keep an eye on things. I had this all planned out. It turns out, I guess I should have saved some of the luck for myself that I generally, give to people.
With all due respect, what are you talking about?
Parent isn't the right word.
Holy shit.
This is going to sound egocentric.
I hang out with Isabel.
I literally created you.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
See, that's impossible. I have been this person my whole life. I grew up in foster care. I didn't even get adopted out.
Yes, I created you as a child, as an infant, and then I got distracted and lost you.
You just lost me, like a wallet.
It's
Or
it's
a
not
purse.
easy being so popular, okay? There are commitments I have to honor, and as they're as they're talking and getting more defensive, the cracks in the concrete around their feet, small like green shoots start growing, and rapidly mature into really small rice plants. I had a lot of things to do at the time, and I may have lost track of a few important things. But I
Like
found you, and I wanted to keep an eye on you and to make sure that you were doing okay, and you seem to be doing okay, and you are selflessly going after children, I presume not of your own, and I'm proud of you for that.
Okay, and they like they start pacing for a second. They're like, okay. So let me get this straight. Okay, who are my parents?
You don't, biologically speaking, have any. I
So
literally created you.
so it just popped into existence. Okay.
It is so weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look at Isabel and it's like,
I don't know. Okay. So it popped. Use your tools. Okay. So I popped into existence. You created me. Thank you. But you lost me.
Yes.
And now you choose now to find me? I'm assuming you knew where I was the whole time, but you lost me.
I only this form is limited. I am both Inari and not Inari. Your friend gestures at Isabel, has the I think she might know a little of what I mean when I say that we do not walk as ourselves on the earth. We take on mantles. We take on incarnations. While we are here, we are fractions of ourselves. And I am limited. I am not everywhere as I am in the overworld. I am, which out of character, I off the top of my head cannot remember the name of the Amatsukami overworld, so we'll just say overworld for now.
Okay.
I am mortal plus, let's say.
That weirdly makes sense.
And there are other Inaris out there. There are other people who do not yet know that they are Inari. It is difficult to keep track of everything, to avoid fate. The way they say it, like it's fate with a capital F. And I came across your name a couple of months ago, and I thought I'd check up on you, but I had other things to do, and I finally made it. And as I said, I got distracted. Trying to help. Gestures again at the homeless guy. I am, for what it's worth, sorry. I had intended to, as you put it, adopt you out of the system.
Okay. We can go over this later. But why are you here right now in this spot? Did you know I was going to be here?
I'm here to tell you this is the wrong place.
This is the wrong place. Okay. Wrong place, wrong time. Where are we supposed to be? Do I call you parent? What can I refer to you? Inari with the capital I? What can I refer to you as?
Inari works for me.
Inari. All right. This is what we're working with, kids. All right. So Inari, where are we supposed to be?
Not here.
It's oddly specific.
Well, that narrows it down for us. So we go to the next
you
one.
said you were looking for a kid, and if it's not here, where else were you looking?
There was like 3 other spots we can look at. Isaac's got, or Liam's got the list. We're looking for this kid named Isaac. I'm sorry, I am very befuddled right now. This was just kind of, I understand you are taking this with a grain of salt and are being apologetic, but like, I'm just very befuddled right now. This is not something I was expecting.
Well,
Um,
unless you are raised knowing, I don't think anyone is expecting it when it happens.
God. All right. Liam, where are the list? What is the list? Where are we supposed to go? Like, where are the other addresses on the list?
Well, next on my list is probably Morrison's Freight Yard. I think it's probably the next best option. Grant Green Enterprises has a foot in there too, so that was next on my list.
Okay. Any of those striking a chord with you, Inari?
Not, I mean, he did just say only one place though.
The other one was Fields.
Neither particularly seems more fortuitous than the other. Just trust in yourself and make a decision, which sometimes leads to losing people. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
I'm sure it was a complete accident. Maybe you left a window open someplace. But what about the place that isn't associated with Grant Green?
That'd be the Fields.
That's Fields.
The Fields. Yeah. Okay. We can check both.
I say we go to Morrison's first, then go to Fields from there.
Okay. Inari, how long are you going to be in this form?
Well, until it dies. It is a body as any other. Or until fate intervenes or binds too many mortals to it.
I would like to have a conversation with you when it's a little more convenient, if you will, for everyone involved. Right now, we're trying to find a missing kid. I don't suppose you know anything. No, you wouldn't. It's fine. I don't know of anything of this situation right now. You knew I was going to be here. Do you know why I'm here other than to look for a child?
I just had a good feeling about being here.
All right. I would like to have can we have dinner later? Or something? I don't know. How does this work? Do I send you an invitation?
I mean, I'm staying in a room at the Sleepy Llama Inn.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm panicking right now.
No, that's okay. I'm unsettled too. As I said, not how I intended to do this.
I would like to have a conversation with you later in regards to everything that's been happening in the past 48 hours and also my life.
That makes sense. Yes, I can see you would have questions.
I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of anger too and a lot of questions, and I'm really not trying to put that anger on you right now, but it's hard.
Isabel's eating mince like popcorn.
All right. Let's go, I guess. Are the people, and I kind of motion to the building, are they going to be okay in there? Is he going to be okay in there?
I was going to go and check on them after I'd helped here, so I should go and do that just so that they know what's coming. Gestures at the storm clouds. This is like no preternatural knowledge here. There's just a big ass storm on its way.
Big storm. Okay. Thank you.
No, thank you for not getting angry.
Okay.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Everything's fine. You know.
But they turn around and start walking towards the warehouse.
Okay. I'm gonna turn around and I'm going to look at Isabel, grab her by the shoulders, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna need to scream in your car for about 38 to 50 seconds. Is that okay with you?
Let's go scream.
Okay.
Lets you in the car. Lets you scream. Gets in the car.
We can't actually hear you right now for some reason.
Me? Can you hear me?
No, Phil.
Oh, Phil. Phil, are you muted?
He's not muted in Zoom.
I can hear some kind
static.
of
Yeah, there's a lot of static. Insert technical difficulties.
Oh, now Phil is muted. Nope, nothing yet. Is that your only mic? Can you hear me? You can. Okay, so you can hear us. We can't hear you.
It does sound like a rough connection, but the video is fine, which is the weird thing, because usually it's the video that goes first for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Phil did send us a message saying that they're going to leave and come back. Maybe that'll help. Okay. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for Phil, let's make our way to Grant Green, the one
Morrison Freight Yard.
Morrison Freight. Yep. Let's make our way there.
Drive over.
I'm
Phil,
not
are you
going to
with us?
bother altering
Hello?
the... That's better.
Oh, yay! We got you.
Now it's gone again.
Well,
We got hello, and then it went.
back to static.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This is kind of optimum timing, because I was going to end the session here anyway.
Okay.
So at least it lasted long enough. Essentially because Morrison's is the right place to go, and it's potentially a longer scene.
Excellent.
Sounds good. Yeah, full disclosure, as soon as you said the name Anari, obviously I knew that was my parentage. I hope I wasn't too melodramatic.
No, I hope it didn't feel too forced in. It's just
That's
trying
good.
to think of ways to trigger a visitation that kind of feels natural.
I dig it. I like
Yeah.
I like how the visitations varied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's really, really cool. Obviously based completely off the how they are in books and stuff. It's really cool. I was really excited that was how I met Anari. Like I was not expecting that.
Yeah. I mean the to plug the adventure, because once again you can play through this very adventure. It's available right now on Storypath Nexus.
And how much is that adventure, Ryan?
Pay what you want, actually.
Ooh.
And that's not because of COVID-19. That's just because it was written with the Honest Path Twitch community's help. So I don't want to get paid for ideas that aren't all my own. And also, I generally just stick my stuff as pay what you want, because I do it for the fun, not to actually make money off of it.
Yay.
Also, like, I'm a freelance GM and I hate charging for those services. So why would I charge for things I can put as pay what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Find the right monitor. Appendix A is suggested events for visitations, and I can tell you that was not Ashes. And then kind of general ideas about the approach that incarnation will have to their child, as well as the pre-gens, obviously. So, if you could let me know the name of the fox, Amber, I will make that canon.
My fox is gonna be canon.
So much power.
Cool.
Cool. I mean, so my first inclination is to actually, I don't know how many of you have Instagram out there, but I am very much inspired by a fox on Instagram named Juniper. But I don't want to take that lovely person's name without paying royalties that I don't actually have access to. So I'm thinking, can I think on this and then
Yes, of course. Just
let you know
let me
before next session?
Yep.
Cool.
So, which brings us to next session. So lovely people in Twitch chat, and my amazing players who are here through various time zones, late at night and early in the morning. The next session will almost definitely be the last. I don't think it'll take 3 hours to get through the action adventure scene that rounds off the adventure.
Cool.
So it'll be, if I was gonna ask if you'd be happy with doing some like on-air feedback and stuff, so that Twitch chat can have input. But that would be, in theory, assuming Travis is fine with it, 9 a.m. EDT next week on Tuesday. And then
Sounds like a plan.
I'll let you all get back to sleep the week after. But that's kind of me for now. I guess because Phil's mic's messed up, PB Publishing 1 on Twitter. Go follow him and then interact with him there so that he can do his spiel. And if Josh wants to do his thing, and then Amber.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can find me at Joshua Deitch on Twitter. I'll put it in the chat because my last name is spelled strangely. Yeah, and yeah, I write different game and fiction stuff. You can find stuff to my stuff there.
And Amber.
My name is Amber, Amber Lynn. You guys can find me as the Rebel Selkie on I guess Instagram too, but Instagram, Twitter, etc., etc. I consider myself a starving artist when it comes to the different medias I am involved in, but I also enjoy playing games for the Onyx Path and anyone else who will have me, really. Feel free to hit me up on there. This has been a real treat. I love doing games like this.
And I'm Ryan, or Comrade Bubbles. It's pretty much Comrade Bubbles everywhere, unless you want to hire me as a GM, in which case it's the Moonlit Bard. I run a show on the Onyx Path channel itself, usually every alternate Tuesday, where I just write adventures. And as I mentioned, this is the one I wrote for the pilot program for the show, and they let me come back to do Chronicles of Darkness stuff, which is what I'll be resuming after this. I also stream regularly on Twitch as Comrade Bubbles, and I'm probably going to be doing some stuff after this. If you have any lingering questions, or just feel free to tweet at me on Twitter as well as Comrade Bubbles. Again, if you have any lingering questions. Anyone else have anything they want to say? Obviously, Phil, you can't, unfortunately.
Support your teeny tiny artists and writers and go check out their stuff and go check out their publishing. I myself am not making money off of any of this, but support your artists. Go look at their stuff. It's really, really cool. Ryan is really cool. Phil is really cool. Josh, you're okay.
Yeah.
Mediocrity. Woo. Right. I guess I'll just end the stream, and hopefully by next Tuesday, Phil can sort out his mic problem. So from me to all of my wonderful players and Travis and the Onyx Path community, thank you very much. Have a good one wherever you are in the world, and hopefully, stay healthy. See you.
Stay safe. Wash your hands.